Tom, in your book, Don't Worry, Retire Happy, the 7 steps to a secure retirement, I think consumers will appreciate the fact that you've broken this down into 7 steps. So if it's all right with you, I'd like to focus on some of these steps today. You say in step 1, to get right to the point, what is your plan? And almost every day somebody comes into our practice and we ask what their plan looks like, and invariably either they don't have a plan or many times there are massive holes in those plans. So talk about what you look for in a good plan.
Yeah, that's step 1 is you got to have a plan, and you got to work with a trusted financial professional, because I say this is not a do-it-yourself project, and that's different than what the other talking heads say, do-it-yourself, call 1-800-NO-HELP and do it yourself. This is not a do-it-yourself project. I even have a financial professional that I work with because I don't stay up to date on every last feature and benefit of every product that's out there. I know the general direction I want to go, but I need an advisor to help me pick the specific products that will maximize it for me. But I mean, part of it is you got to see your current future. You got to say, okay, if I keep going where I am now, where will I be? And most people aren't going to like their current future. And so if you don't like your current future, then you've got to put some steps into place on how are you going to build your wealth? How are you going to have guaranteed income? How are you going to take that long-term care risk off the table? How much money do you want to leave to your kids? Do you want to leave them a lot, nothing, in between? And I think you got to decide that up front, because if you do that, there are tools such as life insurance, for example, that you can use to leave to people. I always tell people, don't give money. Give life insurance, because you can give them so much more, or you can give them the same for so much less. You do it for pennies on the dollar. So decide up front how much you want to give your kids, and then you can use products that can do that for you.
You know, we talk with two different types of people, and maybe you're listening in the car right now, and we're talking to Tom Hegna here on Accelerated Wealth with Chris and Doug Berkey. And Tom, you said you got to have a plan, and you spouted off 7 different things. There's so many things that you have to have a plan, and I think the important thing is that's why it's not do it yourself. There's so many things that the average person they don't know what to do, and sometimes they feel overwhelmed. And I think that's the number one point that you had there is you got to find somebody you trust, a trusted advisor that knows how to ask the right questions to help you build a plan that's going to bring retirement confidence in the midst of, an uncertain world. And, one of the things that we do, and we're actually doing something this week, is, Tom, we bring people in and we do a really engaging, I would say, workshop. This is not a seminar where we're talking with lots and lots of people. It's a couple of households, maybe 4 or 5 max. And we actually show them, here's what your income is going into retirement with your Social Security, with your pensions. Here's what your lifestyle wants to be, and here's the major shortfall that you're going to have 5 or 6 years from now when you go into retirement. How are you going to fill that gap? And how are you going to keep up with inflation? And we actually walk people through identifying and finding that missing shortfall, and then how to use your assets in the best way to be efficient in providing that guaranteed income, as well as what to do with the other parts of your money. So we do that. And, if that strikes a chord with you and that's something you're interested in, we are doing that this week. You can give us a call. We just have room for a few people, but the number's 466-5634. That's 466-5634. It'd be different than any other workshop you've ever been to, because it's going to be using your numbers, your confidential numbers together. And we're going to be helping you identify, what does your future look like 20, 30, and 50 years into the future?